7 tips and good practices for LLM prompt engineering. To define a good prompt, we can break it down to 6 different pieces. One is a role that we can give to a model. For example, we say you're a software engineer, you're a Next.js developer. And task, we ask the model, we define what exactly the model should do. For example, write me a to-do list application. Shots are examples we can give to the model to improve the accuracy. Data are context we can provide to the model. For example, we want to debug our application, we provide the code base, give the model a role that you're a software developer, I want to fix the bug. For example, this is a bug, how to solve it, and what should be your response. And here is the actual code base. Constraint defines things like tone, style, you should be a friendly software developer or technical, etc. An output format, you can guide the model what type of output you're looking for. For example, give me YAML, give me Markdown, give me JSON, etc. That can define the output format. So let's see how we can apply best practices and some tips here. First is politeness token. This question was asked a lot of times that should I say thank you or ask please? This can impact likely the model behavior. Let's say, for example, if you say please, the model in its trained data has example of when people were polite, the result was positive, so they bring more positive result. And saying thank you, for example, can guide the model that it's actually helping you, and the answer is based on what you're looking for. So that helps actually the feedback pipeline of large language models on your provider end. So this can have really a slight amount of improvement on your prompt. Next one is giving your model a persona or role. This is one of the most important one that we can give to the model. Here I provided an example. Let's say you want to plan a trip to Paris and just really vaguely, this is your prompt that plan a 1-day trip to Paris. Let's wait and see what will be the response. Okay, let's give it some time. Here we have a temperature 1, topic 1, and the model is GPT-4o mini. So as you see, the response is really vague, that like you're talking to a person who never planned a trip and giving you, hey, this is really good to you go in the morning here, in the afternoon, etc. But this is not what I'm looking for. I want a real plan based on time, based on where, maybe how much it costs, etc. So this is the other prompt I provided. Your season Paris travel guide. So we give it a persona, a role. So in this case, the model goes with trained data and look for how a seasoned travel guide behaves, what will be the response, etc. And based on that, it generates the output for you. So I gave more information plan. 1-day trip for first-time visitors. The first time going there, I don't know anything. Include timing, tips, and budget options. So this is a huge difference between these two responses. It has a good breakdown of the day, time, how much it takes for me to go there. And also, it should have some budget and cost as well. For example, 11.5 euro, etc. So if you compare, you see giving persona has huge impact on the response you get from the LLM. The other part is chain of thought prompting. So this is important for complex tasks. For example, if you want to do some math calculation, give multiple tasks, etc. This is really important. And if you don't do that, the model can drift, provide a hallucinated response. This was one data I was working on the other day, and I noticed the prompt responded with wrong answer. Right now it should work. I didn't give it chain of thought prompting, but for some reason, maybe OpenAI is caching the response, etc. So it learned that it should, what is the right response. But my question to to the LLM was, here is the data of my sales for 2024, for example. We have different category, different products, different customers, and the sales amount, and which category brought the most revenue. When it responded to me first time was electronics, and it was 366.99 cents. And when I summed all the sales for electronics, that was wrong answer. It was 400 something. So let's run it right now. Probably it's going to give me a right answer, even I don't have chain of thought prompt. Yeah, the answer is correct right now. But the first time I tried, it was wrong. So what I found was, if you give the model this, think out loud and provide the answer. Or there are other type of chain of thought that you can say, let's think through this step by step, or explain your reasoning. That in that case, it provides more details. It reasons first, provides more details about the calculation, math, etc. It's doing comparing numbers, etc., and provides the right answer. So chain of thought prompting is really important for, at least for math tasks, data analytics, etc. is really important for complex tasks. Don't forget to do that. Enforce a structured output format. This is important. For example, I enforce this to give me YAML because Markdown, because I'm rendering the Markdown here. Automatically it made this text bold, etc. So we are rendering Markdown. But for example, if you want to use this response to feed that to an API, create a row in your table, etc., you can say, for example, give me a JSON, and you write that JSON in your database. So this is important if you want to do something afterward with the output the LLM is providing for you. There are two important parameters. Sometimes people forget about them. They are temperature and top P. For example, as I mentioned here, by default, all of my prompts, they have temperature of 1, top P of 1. But what do they mean? Temperature controls the creativity of the model. Higher the number, more creative, but more possible that the model can hallucinate, invent answer, etc. Lower the number, less creative, but they stick with the task and the prompt you're giving to the model. Depending on your task, you definitely need to change these numbers. For example, if you want to write a creative blog post, temperature is higher than, for example, this data analytics task, that it should be a stick to the data and provide the response based on that. And top P defines, because LLMs at the end, they predict text. So this defines the next token or next word, next character they should bring back to you. So higher the number here, the door is open that they can pick different type of text, even the probability is less. Lower the number, they stick to the most possible text that comes after a given prompt. So this really depends on, and goes back to how the LLMs they get trained. So this is important as well, that if you want to make the model stick and bring accurate answers, you don't care about being creative about the words the model is going to use, this number should be low. Higher means model picks different wordings, characters, etc. And self-critic and refining, for example, here, when the prompt is done, it generates an answer for me. I can add something that review your answer, for example, find any issue, miscalculation, etc. Think again and give me back the answer. So that adds one QA step to our model response. You can use the same model, or even you can use a smarter, more intelligent model for that. So this is interesting and important step for mostly for production environment. This adds more cost, more token usage, input, output, etc. But it's really important if you want to add extra level of QA to the response you get. And the last one is clarifying questions. For example, sometimes we can provide really vague prompt to the LLMs. In this case, I provided to write a product description for me for a new smartwatch. But I didn't give it any information about what is my smartwatch. So by doing that, if I don't add this piece, that before writing, ask me questions, whatever you need to write a good description, it can give me really vague answer, a product that I don't have or I didn't create. But by adding this as a clarifying questions, the model asks me a couple of questions. What are key features? What does it look like? Target audience? What should be the tone, brand identity, etc. So this helps the model to don't drift and don't hallucinate. This adds like the model when it's going through the generating the process, think about some important questions that can ask for you to provide better even product description and reduce the hallucination and improve the accuracy of your model.